before I can go into any of that, I need to take you all to see someone very important.
Ooh.
Which of you is marked?
Wait, does Guinevere say that?
Mm-hmm.
And then Aria would hold out her arm, and she does have the tattoo.
Okay.
Rhapsody just kind of shakes her head, like, no.
Okay. Well, I guess you should all follow me then. Do you guys follow?
Yes.
Yes.
And you guys do have the 2 guards that Emerson left. So it's you guys, Guinevere, and then 2 guards. She sort of leads you off to the right. She says, I will need to take all of you to see Blue. She can help you with, and she sort of gestures to your tattoo, Aria. Aria, can you make a
Why?
perception check for me?
Okay. Perception. For some reason, I went to my passive, and then I was like, wait, what? Okay. That's a dirty 20.
Awesome. Okay. You have, whatever this place is, you have a familiar feeling about it. It's sort of different than maybe what you're used to, but it's, there's just something, like, familiar about it. She sort of takes you, off to the right, to a small, sort of long building, sort of like a lodge shape, I guess. It's made of metal. It's got a couple chimneys. She sort of stops at the front door and she says, we had Blue's workshop in the main building at one point, but some of her experiments can be rather volatile in nature, so we had to move it out here. You'll understand more when you go inside and see her. I'll wait out here if you want, and we can all go in and speak to her. What do you do?
Go in.
Go in.
Are you all going in?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So you sort of open the door, and the guards sort of like post themselves outside. You see it sort of divided in half. So the larger half is sort of like the front workshop. It's got like tables and benches, a few blueprints and books scattered about. It's sort of a mess. As you walk in, there is a 6-foot-tall man with sandy-colored skin and wearing simple pants and a shirt under a dirty apron that's like covered in like burn marks and goo and other things. He doesn't seem to notice as you come in, but he does accidentally drop one of the beakers that he was holding and sort of causes a small explosion that lights his apron on fire. But he doesn't seem to like notice at first, but then he like sort of pats it out slowly, almost like he didn't even like notice it there. Then he turns to you and you hear a small voice say, hello, you must be the new ones I've heard about. And you see a fairy, pixie, sitting on the floor. She has one wing that's a beautiful, bright butterfly wing, and the other one is a mix of metal and glass. She flies over and she says, alright, which one of you is marked? Let's see.
Aria would walk forward, and she's kind of staring at this little fairy and trying to figure out where exactly she's from, but she would hold out her arm and show her mark.
She says, okay, June, can you grab that? Yes, right there. And the, giant man sort of, like, lumbers over to the workshop table and grabs, a stone with some sort of carving in it. He hands it to her, and she sort of like runs it over your arm. She says, okay, and she pulls out a teeny tiny little book that she has in her pocket, sort of like her sized, but very, very small to all of you. And she looks there and she says, okay, that checks out. You should be fine. We're always concerned about this sort of thing.
This sort of thing? What sort of thing?
Well, the magic order sometimes can put, I guess for lack of a better term, tracking magic into their tattoos, but it doesn't seem like yours has that. If it did...
That's a good thing, right?
Right, yeah.
Yes.
If it did, we would have to... Well, we won't have to worry about that right now. But it's very nice to meet all of you. I am Bluebell. You can call me Blue, that's what everyone calls me here. And this is Dune, my sand golem. And Dune sort of like waves slowly. He seems pretty happy to see you.
Oh, hello, I'm Aria. I'm Elenariel, but you may call me Aria. And she eagerly sticks out her hand, which she's figured out that it's a very common human custom to shake hands, realizes how small the fairy is, and then instead just kind of holds out her hand, kind of.
And as you do that, Blue sort of like sticks out her hand, but Dune also does the same motion, and he like shakes your hand for her. So she says, okay, it looks like you're all ready to go. I'll let Gwen know. And she sort of flies to the door, and Dune follows and opens it for her, and she talks to Gwen for a minute. And Gwen says, all right, since we're all done here, you can all go and see Madam Mage, as it were. And she then takes you to the large domed building that you sort of saw before. And this building is like the biggest building on this campus, I guess you would call it. And you sort of have to like go back through the courtyard that you were at before. And you can sort of see a little bit better because there's not as much fog now. It's sort of blown away. And as you sort of like look past like all these buildings and stuff, you don't really see like a lot of like anything like past sort of these like buildings and stuff is just like fog. So it's really, really hard to tell exactly where you are. But you walk up to this building and it's huge. It has a large glass dome, and then on each side there are smaller domes. It has large bay windows. You enter, and there's a large circular entry area. And as you look up, you can see you're directly beneath the largest glass arch. In the center of this marble floor is a statue of a hooded figure with large unfurled red and purple painted wings. On the figure's sort of long white hair spills out from under her hood, and you can't really see her face, but you can see like a noticeable mischievous smile speaking are outstretched in a welcoming gesture. And the plaque beneath her is rather large, so you could all be able to read it. And it says, Angel of Chaos, though silent, she is not gone. For where there is faith, there is hope.
I did not hear what you just said a moment ago.
Which part?
The sentence you said just before.
Okay. The Angel of Chaos, though silent, she is not gone. For where there is faith, there is hope.
I heard that, but what you said right after that kind of cut out.
I just said that I would put it on Discord.
Okay.
Okay. And then there are like 3 doors that sort of mark exits from the circular room. Each of these doors looks like completely different. They don't look like they should belong in the same area. The one straight across from you is an arch doorway painted white, almost blending in with the floor. The door to your left is a metal double door with intricately carved magic symbols representing each school of magic. The door on your right is the largest doorway. It's double doors that are made of wood, and they're intricately painted to look like a forest. Gwen takes you through these double doors to the right, and she pushes them open to reveal a large room with bay windows overlooking sort of the quad area that you landed in. And on a large dais sits a large back chair behind a desk with stacked books. And behind the desk floats different papers sort of around it. And on the wall behind all of that hangs a painting of a field with a storm in the distance, and then two small figures holding hands standing to face it. Standing next to the desk is a white dragonborn. He's smaller than most dragonborns that any of you have encountered. He looks like maybe he's a bit younger, but he's like unnaturally small. He's like holding several books stacked up in his arms. And standing next to him is a tall, human-looking woman with unruly red curly hair and freckles. She wears a long, sleeveless robe and is currently picking the papers out of the air and comparing them with the book that she holds in her hand, and then quickly tossing them aside and allowing them to float away into the corner of the room. She puts that book back on the stack that the Dragonborn holds and grabs another from the desk and then starts the process again. As you enter, she looks up and she smiles very, very brightly. Rhapsody, can you make a insight check for me?
Yep. 9.
9. Okay. You don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. She seems really excited to see you all. She says, "Oh, hello!" And she quite literally drops the book that she's holding and rushes over excitedly. And as she sort of like leaves this space that she was standing in, the papers that were floating around her fall to the floor. And some of them sort of land on the Dragonborn that's still holding the books. And she looks back and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Fix. Could you take those books to the library for me? Thank you." And then in Draconic, which I don't think any of you would understand except for Vander, she says, and check the archives for that matter, please. And Fitz, the Dragonborn, sort of shakes the papers off and says, "Yes, yeah." And then she says, "Thank you so much, dear." And Fitz leaves the room. And then Glenn says, "Madam Mage, these are the individuals I was telling you about before." "Oh yes, Gwen, I remember. I'm so excited to finally meet you. You'd best go and be with Devin, Gwen. He might need you right now. I can handle things from here." And Gwen nods and leaves. What do you all do?
Seeing as she's human, or at least looks human, Elenariel marches up, extends her hand and goes, "Hello, I'm Elenariel, but you can call me Aria."
She takes your hand and she furiously shakes it very excitedly, and she says, "Oh, it's very, very nice to meet you all. Gwen's told me quite a bit about you and what you've done to help Devin. So we're all very thankful about that. But I would like to be the first to welcome you to the Association of Autonomy. I know Gwen, I'm sure, explained a little bit about what we do here, but we fix magical problems with magical solutions, but without the influence of the Council of the Coalition. We locate and obtain powerful magical items before the Order can send the Black Guards to find them and take them or destroy them. We're also a safe haven for those who cannot leave the Coalition. We do have some families here, but mostly it's agents and people who work for us. But I'm very excited to meet you all, and it was amazing what you did to help Devin. There aren't very many people out there who would have done that. Most would have just turned him in or walked away. So we're also very thankful about that, especially Gwen. She was very concerned when she saw that there were people looking into his disappearance, and she didn't want the Blackguard being aware of what he was trying to accomplish. So thank you very much. You all seem like perfect additions to our outfit here, if you're interested, of course.
Interested in what? Aya. Interested in what? Aya asks.
Well, being a part of our little crew here, of course.
Oh. What would we do?
Well, I would hire you as agents of the association. Agents sort of deal with the magical issues that arise. There are like two different kinds of us. There are agents of information who simply are on the ground and report different magical rumors or magical issues, and then agents of intervention actually deal with those magical issues. So Gwen would be more on the information side of our dealings here. But if you were interested, I would enjoy very much hiring you as agents of intervention to actually deal with the magical issues that arise in the coalition.
So there'd be adventure.
Oh, definitely.
So.
Much adventure. And of course, you would all be paid for anything you collect and bring back, or any adventure you complete. These items that you've collected that Gwen already turned in, you will be compensated for. Does 500 gold per item seem okay?
Aria has no
Yes.
idea if that's fair or not, so she turns
That
to
is
her
very
friends.
fair. Let's accept that, please.
That
Sounds great. Okay. I will be sure to give that to you. I don't have it on me currently, but yeah. I understand that you were on a job to find Devin. I assume you would want to collect that as well.
Well, as long as he seems fine, and that's good enough for me, says Elenariel.
Yes, but it was my understanding that you were to bring him back to the governors. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we were contracted to do that.
Okay. I'm sure Gwen can bring you back down and help you return him, so you can collect that reward. But then, if you want, you can completely and totally come back and sort of be integrated into our little association here, if that's okay with all of you.
How would we get back?
Well, the same way you got here, of course. Gwen's magical transportation.
Oh. That seems alright.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there was one more thing.
Yes.
I saw your statue of the Chaos Angel. Do you believe?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We, though she is silent, she is not gone. We're not really sure where she is. She's been gone for a while, but I personally know that she's out there somewhere. I believe that she is. Do you know much about her?
Aria smiles as she's saying this and just kind of does the little bow, spreads her wings, like very formal bow, and then.
Of course, you would know quite a bit from you being Dark Fae yourself. Silly of me. Hello, it is I, your friendly neighborhood DM, Hannah, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We're all pretty new at this, so the audio is going to be a little funky at the beginning. But hey, if you guys want to follow us, we're on Twitter at Tabletop20. That is the name of our group. If you want to also tweet about our podcast, you can use our hashtag of Tabletop20. And if you do that, you might get a shout out on the show, and it'll be really, really awesome. You could get character name after you, or a city, or something like that. I have a bunch of ideas going on for that. Also, my brother Sam and I, Sam plays Yuri. We have another podcast called That Nerdy Podcast that we do together, where we just kind of talk about nerdy stuff. So yeah, check it out. I won't keep you guys too long in suspense of this awesome D&D session. So yeah, thanks. Bye. Okay. So at this point, you guys can sort of explore. I wanted to give you the option of exploring this place or returning Devon and then exploring. I have some different things that you guys can do while here. But I'll leave that up to you guys how you want to sort of proceed with this.
I do like the thought of returning him and then getting back.
Okay.
Yeah, returning him first.
Okay. I need to know where to start in my notes because I wasn't sure how you guys wanted to do this, so I sort of had it jumbled. So.
And out of game, I do remember you saying you were gonna have us level up again. So.
Yes. And you guys can do that now if you want.
Because I remember you said something about leveling up halfway through, so I wasn't sure.
Yep. You guys can level up. I actually had that in my notes, but we didn't get to it. You guys can level up right now.
Nice. I need all the hit points I can get.
Yeah.
I don't have very many.
Know the feeling.
Ooh, and I get another spell. Nice.
Okay.
And are we rolling for hit points, or are we doing fixed level up for hit points?
I usually just do fixed just because it's easier.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, is everyone leveled up now?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys sort of want to talk about the stuff that you get? Do you get anything when you level up to level 3? I know some classes do, but some classes don't.
Yeah. I only get another spell because I got my circle at level 2, but I think most of you guys get your subclass or domain or college or.
Yeah, I got college.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, we also get access to second level spells.
Right.
Okay.
Right?
I think so. Vander, do you get anything cool at 3rd level?
Ranger archetype?
Okay.
Which I don't know what it is.
That would be
I don't know what the different ones are.
Yeah. So, for Rangers, you have a few different options, especially since you all should have access to Tasha's Cauldron, which I bought on D&D Beyond. To use for some of my characters that I'm playing. So Rangers have Beast Hunter, I think is one of them, where you're really, really good at tracking and stuff. There is just a bunch of other ones. I don't know all of them off the top of my head. But if you go into edit or whatever, you should be able to see the different stuff that you can choose from.
There's just a drop-down menu, but I don't know what each of them are.
Yeah. So if you go into sources at the top of your screen, you can look either at Tasha's Cauldron of everything, or even the player's handbook, because I have both of them digitally on here, and you can see sort of your options for each of those. And it'll give you a description and stuff.
That's really weird. I didn't know I had. Wait, I'm just looking at spells. I'm trying to figure out why I have.
find him, Hope?
Yeah.
Okay. I personally like the one where you like animal companion.
Oh, yeah.
Me. I had a ranger that I was playing for a while that had a raven. She
Nice.
was like a best friend. It was super awesome. And I think Tasha's Cauldron had some like new stuff, which I'm really excited about, that I've never used before because it's new. Yeah, so there's like Fey Wanderer. That one's cool. Pulls up. Did you find one that looks cool, Hope?
I'm still looking through them. There's a lot of information on them.
Yeah, yeah.
I also get like expertise.
Mhm.
So basically, 2 of my skills I can have like the proficiencies doubled.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. Right. Do you know which one you're gonna pick?
Already picked performance,
Okay, yeah.
and I don't know which other one. Persuasion, probably.
Persuasion, insight, any of the ones that you like interact with these is probably good because that's like Bard's speciality.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with persuasion. Performance and persuasion.
I don't think it'd be very useful, but I really kind of want to choose Skywrite. Just because it'd be fun. It's a ritual, so it doesn't take up any spell
I know
slots.
sometimes, at least I know with the sorcerer that I'm playing right now, I can choose either like leveling up skills or getting feats. So like there's some like really cool feats too.
I don't know. Animal messenger is also fun. Oh, locate animals or plants. I kind of want to do that. I don't know.
I don't know which like bard college. Like I don't know what they all
Yeah,
are.
bard colleges are kind of confusing. Like I sort of through them myself, and they're sort of out there, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me pull out my book and see if I can.
I saw this chart one time. I'm trying to remember I'm trying to find it again, that I can just send, and it had like a little quick rundown or short description of each one.
Okay.
Where did I see it?
I can't decide between the Beastmaster or the Gloomstalker.
Those are really good. Those are both amazing.
Honestly,
Beastmaster, you
Beastmaster, the animal.
Yeah, you get like an animal companion.
Yeah, it's really up to you, but I like Beastmaster.
Each of the colleges, Sarah, are I don't know if you can see them.
I can.
Yeah. Like there's.
I guess, do we just want to spend the rest of the time figuring out levels and stuff?
I mean, we can if we want to, or we can keep going. That's up to you guys.
We could,
We could
just
go
think
for like
it'd be
3:30 or 4. Like I'm okay with either.
yeah,
But yeah.
I kind of like the
I
idea
just
of
think it'd be better for the people that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think for the people who haven't really played a lot, just to have us here for just to like tell them what stuff is when they're leveling up would be useful.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally fine.
Oh, we could, if we do want to have at least like a little stopping point, we could return Devon, collect the reward, and then
we can
return,
sort of
and then have that be our stopping point.
To end with, and then you guys sort of.
Yep, and then good stuff.
Yeah, and the next session can sort of be like exploring like everything that this association has like on their campus. They have some really cool stuff that I've sort of prepared.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't find that chart. Oh well. Oh well.
Yeah, this one had a lot of description, which might have been a little boring for you guys, but it's kind of important to say all this stuff.
I honestly liked that.
Yeah.
To me, it was interesting.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get like some sort of map drawn up and then send you guys a picture of sort of like what
That'd be great.
the association looks like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yuri isn't here, but if he was here and he rolled good, you would know exactly who you guys are. Because of like the culture and stuff. So that's Sam's fault.
I-
It's now.
I just found this hilarious list of creative uses for prestidigitation.
There's a bunch of them. Like,
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
so
it's
funny.
the,
Like,
the
I
things
never
for the-
used prestidigitation, but it's so helpful.
Yeah, neither have I. Like,
Yeah.
announce your dramatic entrance or the choir or applause. Just be Darth Vader. Oh goodness.
What is it? Was it? Is it 4th level? You get a second channel divinity? I forget.
Maybe. It might be like, it's probably either every 2 levels or, I know sorcerers, we aren't very great. We have to do it every
Yeah, because my my channel divinity for the war cleric is I can give a +10 bonus to an attack roll after I see the roll, but before knowing if it hits or not. So
Nice.
it's really good for like if I want a big spell to hit. Like
Yeah.
if I cast like inflict wounds at like 3rd level or something ridiculous, I really want that to hit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's good for just like, yeah, I rolled a 5, so it's like a 9, but I'll add 10 to that. Whatever.
Yeah.
'Cause it always sucks when you like use like a big 3rd level spell and then it just misses.
Ugh.
Okay, was everyone able to sort of like pick what they want to as they level up?
I
Just need to
mean,
know whether to like move on with the story or wait. Like I'm cool with waiting, but
other than the Bard College, I have no idea.
Yeah, with the subclasses, you gotta spend a decent amount of time
yeah.
just looking through.
Oh man, Skywrite would be really fun.
Yo!
It's
Ohio State got the
pointless,
ball back.
but it's
Let's go.
really fun.
That's what Sam's out there watching right now.
Yeah, I'm just keeping track of it on just the website. It's 1st and 10 at Ohio State's 20, but Ohio State have the ball, and it's 10-16 with 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
I assume that's good.
It's good.
I'm
Yeah.
not like I understand football, but I don't really.
I barely.
Yeah.
I understood enough to know that what he said was good. I just didn't know what it all meant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of understand football. I understand enough. Like
I'm
if
not
somebody's
big
rattling
into, like,
stuff off, I can
the-
kind of get it. But I cannot repeat. I cannot announce scores or whatnot, like the stats.
Yeah.
I just, yeah. This guy has the ball, and they're at this point. Yeah. Doing
Yeah.
this,
I,
and it looks good.
I'm not a big fan of the NFL, but I like college football. College football is fun to watch.
Yeah, my dad and my other brothers
Plus-
the same way.
I don't watch any of it.
Yeah. I played football for a decent amount of time, so it's better when you've like played the game and understand a lot of it.
Yeah, it's like
But-
in your blood.
I was gonna do less
Not in
restoration,
my
however,
blood,
we
but-
have a cleric in the party.
I don't think any of my family know. But we're also homeschooled. So. Well, we played
Don't worry.
soccer. We played like homeschool
Yeah.
soccer, which was like the chillest soccer ever. Like you would fall down, and then everyone on every single team would be like, "Are you okay?"
Okay.
Like, ball, please.
Alright.
Are we at a point where we want to move on with the story?
Yes. I will
Yeah.
just decide on the spell later. Otherwise, I'm going to be here all day.
Fine.
I will too.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh.
So.
You guys could also like watch some YouTube videos on the class.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like
That would
really
probably do.
cool YouTube videos about like explaining subclasses of different things. So. Might be good.
Yay! Second level spells.
Okay. So,
Like-
you guys still have those 2 guards with you? They sort of like haven't left. They're not like gonna leave strangers alone in this place.
Yeah.
So they sort of escort you to like the medical building, where Gwen is with Devin and Dinah. I didn't really describe Dinah before because we were sort of like in a special situation. But she looks a lot like her brother. She's got dark hair. She appears to be a year younger since she was trapped in stone for a year. So you walk into this sort of like, I guess, medium-sized building. And I guess like picture an old-fashioned hospital, and that's sort of what it looks like. Like the beds are sort of out in the open, and they do have like rooms off to the side for like surgeries or whatever. But like they have magic, so no one really stays here for that long because they can just give you a potion and you're fine. But I guess in Dinah's case, she's maybe a little bit more TLC. And she's sort of being next to her. Is of course her brother Devin. He's sort of watching over her. And then Gwen is next to him, and sort of taking care of her is a sort of large half-orc woman. And she's wearing like a white, sort of a white outfit. And she's sort of like going back and forth, like writing things down and like checking her. That's really cool. What do you guys do?
Stand
I
around
guess we
awkwardly.
just.
True to character.
Do we just
wrong.
ask Devin if he'll come with us back to the governor?
Yeah. He sort of looks up at Gwen and she's he says, "Will she be okay?" And Gwen says, she's in very, very good hands with him. Trust him. She'll be fine." And he sort of like is hesitant to leave her, but he also knows like if he doesn't come back, it's definitely gonna like raise suspicion, especially if you guys don't come back either. So he sort of agrees to go with you. Is there like anything you guys want to ask him or talk to him? I guess I like want to have this like exchange because like you guys have been looking for him for like 2 days, so I figure you would want to know a little bit about him.
I just want to get paid.
Largo's all about that cash.
I just want everybody to be okay. And adventure.
Rhapsody kind of like gestures to his sister and just goes, "What happened to her?"
He's sort of holding her hand very gently, and he says, "Well, several years ago, we found out that we had magical potential and that we were magic users. And we found the ruins that you found me in, and we would practice our magic there. And one day I was messing around down in that dungeon when I probably shouldn't have, and I tripped something, some sort of magical spell or trap of some kind, and it turned her to stone. And I've been trying to get her back ever since. I've been researching and collecting materials and using the black market to find important things and components to use this powerful spell. And I've worked so long, a whole year, and without you all, I never would have been able to do it. So thank you so much. And I think at this point you guys sort of take your leave. You sort of all go with Gwen and Devin, and you go back to the quad area that you sort of landed in, and you're able to Gwen uses her hair clip again, and she's able to bring you back to Ellsbury. And where you land is really interesting, actually. When the light sort of fades from your trip, from your transportation, you find that you're actually in Gwen's art room, which Yuri would actually recognize that you actually are within the circle that was carved into her floor. So you're able to sort of sneak out of the house and find your way to the governmental building, where you are then truly and deeply thanked for returning Devin, and his mother is there, and she's very, very grateful, and she says, thank you so much for bringing my son back. We were so worried about him. Where have you been, Devin? And Devin says, I was celebrating my engagement to Gwen, and I guess I had a little too much to drink. I sort of wandered off into the woods, and I was taken by some goblins, I think. It's kind of all a blur, but these great people saved me, and they helped me so much. So thank you. You are then paid, and then Gwen is able to, she insists upon escorting you out, and she then sneaks you back into her home, and you are all then transported once again back to the Association of Autonomy.